What's up, everybody? Oh, what's going on with my hair? Oh, man. Oh, it's backwards on the screen. Oh, man. Today what we're going to talk about is this. We had a interesting conversation yesterday. So what I want to talk about is like the negativity in your mind, right? And complaining. Okay, and it was just like kind of an interesting message that came into my head yesterday. So we were actually, Ben was sitting right here on the couch talking to a couple of our clients. And I was sitting right there at that glass table. I was sitting on this bad boy. I was sitting on my baby's chair. I was doing a little bit of work, and they were talking about flights to places, flights to Europe. That it takes longer to get to Dublin than it does to fly to London, for example, right? And then Ben suggested that, oh yeah, I know, and then if I fly, so he flies to Beijing, I believe it was what he says, and he's got all these way to the airport and this and that, right? And I looked at him, I was like, hey man, yeah, but you're probably right, but at the same time, isn't it cool that you can get there in one day? You could literally get to the other side of the world in one day, right? This is going to make sense in a second. And he was like, this is exactly what he said was, I actually probably would have disagreed with you, but no, you're right. And so it was interesting. Here's why it's interesting. So all we did was we flipped what he said on its head. We just literally turned it around. You can see, it's like, oh man, it actually is cool, right? And why does that matter? Why is that relevant to you and I? Because this is so relevant for your weight loss journey, for your fitness journey, for your fat loss journey, for your whatever journey it is that you're on, your health journey, your life journey. Because if we can flip these situations and try to complain about them and try and look for the positive, it's actually going to improve your life so much. So as an example, let's take an example. I literally just did the 6:30 a.m. workout here at the gym, and I don't usually do that workout. I got a lot of work to do, but Oshin needed a day off today, and he was like, hey, can you cover me? I was like, in my head initially, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that because I got stuff to do. But then I was like, hold on a minute, this is a really good opportunity to get back, connect with our clients again, have a good workout, and really have some fun. So initially I was like, oh, and then I just flipped it. I was like, hold on, and then I loved it. That was so awesome doing that workout. It was so much fun, and all they did was flip it on its head, ask a different question, and that's so important. That's so relevant for you. Ask a different question. So let's just take your weight loss journey in the past. Because most of us at some point in our lives have tried something and failed, and tried something and failed, and tried something and failed, and you just keep giving up, right? So let's ask ourselves, hey, cool, I tried to lose weight 6 months ago, and I tried to lose the weight 6 months before that, and I tried to lose weight 6 months before that again, right? And every single time I lost weight and I gained it back, I lost weight and I gained it back, or I lost weight, or sorry, I didn't lose any weight. My body isn't going to work for that kind of thing, right? My body isn't made to look the way I want it to look, right? All these things. These what we. This is the secondary conversation that goes on in our head. How about we try and ask a little bit of a different question, just to make it easier for yourself? And we'll talk a little more about that in a sec. But let's just say, for example, that I ask myself, cool, let's write down here. Here's what happened the last time. This is what happened to me. I lost 10 pounds and I did this, but I couldn't lose any more. Or I lost 10 pounds and it all came back on. Let's write down what you did. Now, once you've done that, let's ask yourself, okay, cool. What can I do this time a little bit differently so that I get what I want? Does that make sense? So we have literally just flipped the question on its head, flipped the comment on its head, flipped the secondary conversation on its head, and then all of a sudden your brain starts to work with you. Does that make sense? So another example would be, and I talk about this one a lot, let's just say over the next 12 months, I want to lose 60 pounds. Okay? If you say you want to lose 60 pounds, first of all, congratulations, fantastic. I love that goal. At the same time, though, 60 pounds seems really far away. It seems really hard to achieve, right? How about we reverse engineer it and we break it down for ourselves? And you can do this with, if you want to make more money with your life, right? So this makes sense, right? So let's just say I want to lose 60 pounds in the next 12 months. Let's divide 60 by 12. I believe that's 5, right? 5, yeah. So now I want to lose, now all of a sudden I've got 60 pounds, I only need to lose 5 this month. Does that make sense? And now, cool, let's break this month down into weeks. So then all of a sudden I got 4 weeks in a month, I got 5 pounds to lose this month, divide them, and you get something like 1.25 pounds a week. Does that sound all of a sudden a lot more manageable? It's like something that you can really, really do. Yeah? So now all of a sudden, that 60-pound goal, it's not so far away anymore because it's only 1.25 pounds a week. Fair enough? So can you see, if we reverse engineer things or ask a little bit of a different question, how we can do these things, how we can achieve what it is that we want and not feel overwhelmed? Yeah? So, and I know we started this video about talking about complaining, and I don't necessarily mean complaining, I mean like that the natural secondary conversation in our head, I move that chair thing, the natural secondary conversation in our head is like so often it's negative. And in my head too, I'm the exact same. Right? Let's ask a different question once that happens. And what you do is you empower your brain. This is all like so proven. It's like scientific research and this kind of stuff. Like it empowers your brain to go and find an answer. Make sense? So another example on the back of that would be, I got nothing. Oh yeah, here's one. This comes from Tony Robbins. This is a really good one that he gave this example, that he was driving a rally car, I believe it was a rally car, and it was spinning out of control, and there was a tree over here. So if he wants to avoid the tree, okay, but what he's doing is he's looking at the tree and he's steering away. Make sense? But you're going to go where your mind is looking. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden he's not going to go at that. He's not going to get away. He's actually going to hit the tree, most likely. Fair enough. But his driving instructor was like, no, look this way. All right. And what happened was when he looked that way, he pulled that way, and now his car went that way. So his car didn't hit the tree, right? And it's the same thing. If we can reframe what we're asking ourselves, reframe the way we look at things, it's going to empower your brain to find the right answers, and it's going to empower you to go in the right direction and not that wrong direction that you don't want to go in. Make sense? Awesome. It's awesome. That's awesome. I hope that helps, guys. This is something that I found really, really powerful for me. Reframing things, because I was a bit of a few years ago, a bit of a, what's the word? A bit negative and a bit bitter, maybe? Bitter? I don't know. Whatever, right? Bitter, negative, I don't know. One of the two. And, when I started asking myself these little better questions, like things just like completely changed for me. And my life is so much better, so I'm so much happier. Something that might help for you in your weight loss, your fitness, your all your journeys. Talk to you soon.